Ever wondered how a single man could reshape the fate of nations and leave an indelible mark on history? Meet Napoleon Bonaparte, a name synonymous with brilliance and controversy. Born on the rugged island of Corsica in 1769, this ambitious young man climbed the ladder of power during the chaos of the French Revolution, ultimately crowning himself Emperor of the French in 1804. But was he truly the greatest conqueror the world has ever seen? Prepare to be captivated by tales of sweeping victories and revolutionary tactics that left Europe trembling. Napoleon's military genius was unparalleled. His political acumen sharp and decisive. His conquests didn't just change borders. They altered the course of history. From the sands of Egypt to the icy expanse of Russia, his relentless pursuit of dominance showcased innovative strategies and an unyielding spirit. Imagine a time of endless battles, shifting alliances, and a world in turmoil. Amidst this chaos, Napoleon stood as a singular force, bending nations to his will and ushering in an era of nationalism and political upheaval that would shape Europe for generations. His legacy, a double-edged sword that continues to spark debate. Visionary leader or ruthless despot? Join us on this riveting journey as we explore the life and legacy of Napoleon Bonaparte. Discover the man behind the myth, the strategies that revolutionized warfare, and the impact of his reign that still echoes in the halls of history. Whether you're an admirer or a critic, one thing is certain: Napoleon's story is one you won't want to miss. Stay tuned as we delve into the rise of the man who aimed to conquer the world, and decide for yourself, was Napoleon Bonaparte the greatest conqueror of all time? Early life of Napoleon, from Corsican roots to Emperor of France. Napoleon Bonaparte's journey from humble beginnings on the island of Corsica to becoming the Emperor of France is a tale of ambition, resilience, and brilliance. Born on August 15, 1769, in Ajaccio, Corsica, Napoleon was the second of 8 children in a family of modest means. His father, Carlo Bonaparte, was a lawyer, and his mother, Letizia Ramolino, was a strong-willed woman who played a significant role in shaping Napoleon's character. Corsica, at the time of Napoleon's birth, had only recently been ceded to France by the Republic of Genoa. The island's inhabitants, including the Bonaparte family, were fiercely independent and resistant to French rule. This atmosphere of rebellion and resistance left a lasting impression on young Napoleon, instilling in him a sense of determination and a drive to rise above his circumstances. Recognizing Napoleon's potential, Carlo Bonaparte secured him a scholarship to study in France. At the age of 9, Napoleon left Corsica to attend the Brienne-le-Château Military Academy. Despite facing challenges such as language barriers and social discrimination due to his Corsican heritage, Napoleon excelled academically. He demonstrated a particular aptitude for mathematics and history, subjects that would later prove invaluable in his military career. After 5 years at Brienne, Napoleon moved on to the prestigious École Militaire in Paris. Here, he completed his studies in just 1 year instead of the usual 2, graduating as a second lieutenant in the artillery at the age of 16. His rapid progression through the ranks was a testament to his intelligence, hard work, and ambition. Napoleon's first posting was with the La Fère Artillery Regiment, where he continued to hone his military skills. The French Revolution, which began in 1789, provided Napoleon with numerous opportunities to demonstrate his talents. He quickly rose through the ranks, thanks to his leadership abilities and strategic acumen. One of Napoleon's early notable achievements came in 1793 during the Siege of Toulon. At the age of 24, he was given command of the artillery and devised a plan that led to the capture of the city from British forces. This victory caught the attention of the revolutionary leaders and marked the beginning of his meteoric rise. Napoleon's success in Toulon earned him a promotion to brigadier general. His subsequent campaigns in Italy further showcased his military genius. Leading the French army of Italy, he secured a series of decisive victories against the Austrians, significantly boosting his reputation. The political turmoil of post-revolutionary France provided a unique opportunity for Napoleon. In 1799, he participated in the coup d'état of 18 which overthrew the Directory and established the consulate. Napoleon became first consul, effectively placing him in control of France. His ability to combine military prowess with political strategy set him apart from his contemporaries. The hardships and discrimination he faced as a young Corsican in France instilled in him a sense of resilience and a desire to prove himself. His education and early military successes demonstrated his brilliance and strategic thinking. He was known for his ability to inspire loyalty and dedication in his troops, often leading them personally into battle. The early life of Napoleon Bonaparte is a story of a young man who rose from obscurity to the heights of power through sheer determination, intellect, and ambition. Military campaigns. Napoleon's conquests across Europe. Napoleon Bonaparte's military campaigns are legendary, showcasing his unparalleled strategic genius and tactical prowess. His conquests across Europe transformed the continent's political landscape and left an indelible mark on military history. From the sun-soaked fields of Italy to the snow-covered plains of Russia, Napoleon's armies marched with precision and ferocity, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies and demonstrating his innovative approach to warfare. One of Napoleon's earliest and most significant campaigns was in Italy. In 1796, he was appointed to command the French army of Italy. At the time, the army was poorly supplied and demoralized. Napoleon's leadership and strategic brilliance turned the tide. He implemented rapid, decisive movements, dividing and conquering the Austrian and Piedmontese forces. Key victories at the battles of Lodi, Arcole, and Rivoli showcased his ability to outmaneuver and outfight larger enemy forces. The campaign concluded with the Treaty of Campo Formio in 1797, which significantly expanded French territory and influence. Following his success in Italy, Napoleon led an ambitious expedition to Egypt in 1798. While the campaign had mixed military outcomes, it served multiple purposes. Militarily, it aimed to disrupt British trade routes to India. Culturally and scientifically, it aimed to establish French presence and influence in the Middle East. The Battle of the Pyramids was a notable victory, where Napoleon's forces decisively defeated the Mamluk army. However, the campaign ultimately faltered due to naval defeats by the British, including the Battle of the Nile and logistical challenges. Despite its setbacks, the Egyptian campaign enhanced Napoleon's reputation and provided valuable scientific discoveries, including the Rosetta Stone. Napoleon's most celebrated campaign is arguably the War of the Third Coalition, 1805. The campaign's centerpiece was the Battle of Austerlitz, often referred to as the Battle of the Three Emperors. Facing the combined forces of Russia and Austria, Napoleon executed a masterful plan. He deliberately weakened his right flank to lure the Allies into attacking, then launched a decisive counterattack at the Pratzen Heights. The battle ended in a resounding victory, with the Allies suffering heavy casualties. Austerlitz solidified Napoleon's reputation as a military genius and led to the dissolution of the Third Coalition against France. In 1806 to 1807, Napoleon turned his attention to Prussia and Russia in the War of the Fourth Coalition. The campaign included significant battles such as Jena-Auerstedt, where Napoleon's forces decisively defeated the Prussian army, and the Battle of Friedland, which culminated in a crushing defeat for the Russians. These victories led to the treaties of Tilsit, which effectively divided Europe between French and Russian spheres of influence, marking the zenith of Napoleon's power. The Peninsular War, 1808 to 1814, in Spain and Portugal presented Napoleon with one of his most challenging campaigns. Despite initial successes, including the swift occupation of Madrid, the war devolved into a protracted and brutal guerrilla conflict. The British, under the Duke of Wellington, provided substantial support to the Spanish and Portuguese resistance. The drawn-out nature of the conflict drained French resources and morale, contributing significantly to the weakening of Napoleon's empire. The Russian campaign of 1812 marked the beginning of Napoleon's downfall. Driven by a desire to force Tsar Alexander I back into the continental system, Napoleon amassed the Grande Armée, the largest force he had ever commanded. The invasion began successfully, with several victories, but the Russians employed scorched earth tactics, retreating and leaving nothing for the advancing French. The campaign reached a disastrous climax with the Battle of Borodino and the subsequent occupation of Moscow, which was set ablaze by the Russians. The brutal winter, lack of supplies, and constant Russian harassment decimated the Grande Armée during the retreat, leading to one of the most catastrophic defeats in military history. Following the Russian debacle, the Sixth Coalition, 1813 to 1814, rallied against Napoleon. Despite a series of defensive victories in the campaign known as the War of the Sixth Coalition, Napoleon's forces were eventually overwhelmed by the sheer numbers and coordination of the Allies. The Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of Nations, was particularly decisive, with Napoleon suffering a crushing defeat. This led to his forced abdication and exile to the island of Elba in 1814. In a dramatic twist, Napoleon escaped from Elba in 1815, returning to France for a final bid to reclaim his empire during the 100 Days. His return culminated in the Battle of Waterloo, where he faced a coalition army led by the Duke of Wellington and Prussian forces under Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. Despite initial successes, strategic errors, and the resilience of the Allied forces led to his final defeat. Napoleon was subsequently exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, where he spent the remaining years of his life. Napoleon's military campaigns left a profound impact on Europe. His strategies, such as the use of mass conscription, the corps system, and rapid, decisive maneuvers, revolutionized warfare. His influence extended beyond the battlefield, as his conquests spread the principles of the French Revolution, including legal and administrative reforms, across Europe. The Napoleonic Code, implemented in many conquered territories, laid the foundation for modern legal systems. Napoleon Bonaparte's military career is a testament to his extraordinary strategic mind and unyielding ambition. His campaigns reshaped Europe, demonstrating both the heights of military brilliance and the perils of overreach. Napoleon's legacy as one of history's greatest military leaders endures, continuing to inspire and educate future generations on the complexities of warfare and leadership. Napoleon's downfall, the rise and fall of an empire. The dramatic saga marked by a series of pivotal events that culminated in his ultimate defeat and exile. His rise to power had been meteoric, and his reign had seen the transformation of Europe through relentless military campaigns and sweeping reforms. However, the same ambition and drive that had propelled him to greatness also sowed the seeds of his eventual downfall. The period from his zenith to his fall is a study in the volatile dynamics of power, the consequences of overreach, and the relentless tide of geopolitical forces. The beginning of Napoleon's decline can be traced to the Peninsular War, 1808 to 1814, in Spain and Portugal. Initially confident of a swift victory, Napoleon faced unexpected resistance from Spanish guerrillas and Portuguese forces supported by the British under the Duke of Wellington. The brutal and protracted conflict drained French resources and morale. The Spanish ulcer, as it came to be known, was a significant distraction and a constant drain on Napoleon's attention and military capabilities. Napoleon's invasion of Russia in 1812 marked a turning point in his fortunes. With a massive Grande Armée of over 600,000 troops, Napoleon aimed to force Tsar Alexander I back into the continental system, a blockade designed to cripple Britain's economy. The campaign began with high hopes, but logistical challenges and the vast distances of the Russian landscape quickly became apparent. The Russians employed scorched earth tactics, retreating and burning anything that might be of use to the invaders. The Battle of Borodino, although technically a French victory, was Pyrrhic and costly. When Napoleon's forces finally reached Moscow, they found the city abandoned and set ablaze by the Russians. Facing the harsh Russian winter, dwindling supplies, and relentless harassment by Russian forces, Napoleon was forced to order a disastrous retreat. The Grande Armée was decimated by cold, starvation, and constant attacks, with fewer than 100,000 soldiers returning to France. This catastrophic loss weakened Napoleon's position and emboldened his enemies. In the wake of the Russian debacle, the Sixth Coalition, comprising Britain, Russia, Prussia, Austria, Sweden, Spain, and several German states, formed against Napoleon. The War of the Sixth Coalition saw a series of battles across Europe. Despite showing remarkable resilience and tactical brilliance in several engagements, Napoleon could not withstand the combined might of the coalition forces. The decisive Battle of Leipzig in October 1813, also known as the Battle of Nations, resulted in a crushing defeat for Napoleon. His forces were outnumbered and outmaneuvered, leading to a retreat that marked the beginning of the end for his empire. By early 1814, coalition forces had invaded France. Napoleon mounted a valiant defense, winning several battles in the campaign of France, but the overwhelming numbers and persistent advance of the coalition troops proved too much. On March 31, 1814, Paris fell to the Allies. Facing insurmountable odds and pressure from his marshals, Napoleon abdicated on April 6, 1814. He was exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean, where he was given sovereignty over the small territory but stripped of his power and titles. Napoleon's first exile did not mark the end of his story. In a daring and unexpected move, he escaped from Elba on February 26, 1815, and returned to France. His return, known as the 100 Days, saw him quickly regain support and reassemble an army. The European powers, however, swiftly mobilized to confront him. The decisive confrontation came at the Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815. Facing the combined forces of the Duke of Wellington's Anglo-Allied army and the Prussian army under Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher, Napoleon's forces were ultimately defeated after a fierce and closely contested battle. This defeat sealed Napoleon's fate and ended his bid to regain his empire. Following his defeat at Waterloo, Napoleon abdicated once again on June 22, 1815. This time, the European powers took no chances. He was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, far from Europe, where he would have little chance of escape or influence. Napoleon spent the remaining 6 years of his life on St. Helena, living under constant surveillance. He wrote memoirs, reflecting on his life, his reign, and the campaigns that had made and unmade him. His health deteriorated, and he died on May 5, 1821, possibly from stomach cancer, although speculation about other causes persists. The consequences of Napoleon's downfall were far-reaching. The Congress of Vienna, 1814 to 1815, sought to restore pre-Napoleonic order and balance of power in Europe. The boundaries of many European countries were redrawn, and monarchies were restored. However, the ideals of the French Revolution that Napoleon had spread, nationalism, legal equality, and secular governance, continued to influence Europe. The Napoleonic Code served as a model for legal systems around the world, and his administrative and educational reforms left a lasting legacy in France and other territories. Napoleon's rise and fall is a story of extraordinary ambition, brilliance, and hubris. His military campaigns reshaped Europe, and his reforms laid the foundations for many aspects of the modern state. Yet, his relentless pursuit of power and his failure to recognize the limits of his empire ultimately led to his downfall. The dramatic arc of his life, from the heights of power to the isolation of St. Helena, offers enduring lessons on the complexities of leadership, the perils of overreach, and the unpredictable nature of history. Napoleon Bonaparte remains one of the most fascinating and enigmatic figures in history, a man whose legacy continues to provoke debate and inspire reflection. Legacy of Napoleon, a conqueror's impact on European history. Napoleon Bonaparte's legacy as a conqueror and statesman continues to resonate through the corridors of history, profoundly influencing European politics, society, and military practices. His impact extends beyond the borders he redrew during his conquests, leaving an indelible mark on the legal, administrative, and cultural landscapes of Europe. One of Napoleon's most enduring legacies is the Napoleonic Code, or Civil Code of 1804. This comprehensive set of laws reformed the legal framework in France and many of the territories Napoleon conquered. The code emphasized principles of equality before the law, the protection of property rights, and the secular nature of the state. It abolished feudal privileges, promoted meritocracy, and laid the groundwork for modern legal systems in Europe and beyond. The Napoleonic Code influenced the legal systems of many countries, including Italy, Germany, and several Latin American nations, establishing a unified and accessible legal framework that endures to this day. Napoleon's administrative reforms centralized and strengthened the French state. He reorganized the administrative divisions of France, creating departments governed by prefects appointed by the central government. This system ensured more efficient and uniform administration across the country. Napoleon also established the Banque de France to stabilize the economy and introduced a modern tax system, which improved state revenues and financial management. Education was another area where Napoleon left a significant legacy. He established a network of lycées, secondary schools, to provide standardized education across France. The curriculum emphasized science, mathematics, and military training, aiming to create a well-educated citizenry capable of serving the state. Napoleon's emphasis on education laid the foundation for the modern French educational system and underscored the importance of state involvement in public education. Napoleon's military innovations revolutionized warfare and had a lasting impact on military strategy and organization. He implemented the corps system, which divided his army into self-sufficient units capable of operating independently and supporting each other. This system provided greater flexibility and speed in maneuvering troops on the battlefield. Napoleon's emphasis on speed, surprise, and decisive action became fundamental principles of modern military strategy. Napoleon also introduced mass conscription, creating large, well-trained armies that could be rapidly mobilized. His ability to inspire and motivate his troops, coupled with his innovative tactics, led to numerous victories and established him as one of history's greatest military commanders. Military academies around the world still study his campaigns to learn from his strategic and tactical genius. Napoleon's conquests and reforms helped spread the ideals of the French Revolution, liberty, equality, and fraternity across Europe. His actions contributed to the rise of nationalism, as conquered peoples began to develop a sense of national identity and a desire for self-determination. This wave of nationalism ultimately led to the unification of Germany and Italy in the latter half of the 19th century. The dissemination of revolutionary principles also sparked political and social changes in many European countries. Ideas of representative government, civil rights, and the separation of church and state gained traction, challenging the old monarchical and feudal systems. Even after Napoleon's defeat, the seeds of change he planted continued to grow, influencing the political evolution of Europe. Napoleon's legacy is also evident in the cultural and architectural landmarks of his era. He was a patron of the arts and invested in monumental projects to glorify his reign and the French Empire. The Arc de Triomphe in Paris, commissioned by Napoleon to honor his Grande Armée, remains a symbol of French national pride. He also commissioned the construction of the Vendôme Column and the transformation of the Louvre into a public museum. Napoleon's influence extended to literature, art, and music, inspiring works that reflected the dramatic events of his time. His life and campaigns became the subject of numerous books, paintings, and compositions, contributing to the cultural richness of the 19th century. Napoleon's impact was not confined to Europe. His policies and the Napoleonic Wars had global repercussions. The weakening of Spain and Portugal during the Napoleonic era facilitated the independence movements in Latin America. Leaders like Simón Bolívar were inspired by the principles of the French Revolution and Napoleon's reforms as they fought for independence from colonial rule. Napoleon's sale of the Louisiana Territory to the United States in 1803 had a profound impact on American history. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the United States, facilitating westward expansion and shaping the nation's development. Napoleon's legacy is not without controversy. While he is celebrated for his reforms and military genius, he is also criticized for his authoritarian rule and the human cost of his wars. His ambition led to widespread destruction and loss of life across Europe. The debate over whether he was a visionary leader or a power-hungry despot continues to this day. Napoleon's complex legacy reflects the duality of his character and achievements. He was a reformer who modernized France and spread revolutionary ideals, but also a conqueror whose ambitions brought suffering and upheaval. His life and career offer valuable lessons on the exercise of power, the impact of leadership, and the enduring influence of historical figures. Napoleon Bonaparte's legacy is multifaceted, encompassing legal and administrative reforms, military innovations, cultural patronage, and global influence. His impact on European history is profound and lasting, shaping the modern world in ways that continue to be felt today. Napoleon's story is a testament to the power of ambition and the complexities of leadership, offering insights into the enduring challenges and opportunities of governance and statecraft. Conclusion: unraveling the enigma. Napoleon Bonaparte's legacy is a complex tapestry of ambition, brilliance, and controversy. From his early days in Corsica to his final exile on the remote island of St. Helena, his life was marked by a series of dramatic rises and falls. Napoleon's military campaigns reshaped the map of Europe, demonstrating his strategic genius and altering the course of history. His reforms in law, administration, and education left a lasting impact on European society, establishing principles that continue to influence modern governance. Throughout his career, Napoleon exhibited an extraordinary ability to inspire loyalty and dedication in his troops, often leading them personally into battle. His innovative tactics and emphasis on speed, flexibility, and decisive action revolutionized warfare, earning him a place among history's greatest military commanders. The Napoleonic Code, one of his most significant achievements, laid the groundwork for modern legal systems, promoting equality before the law and the protection of property rights. However, Napoleon's legacy is not without its darker aspects. His relentless pursuit of power led to widespread destruction and loss of life across Europe. The human cost of his wars, coupled with his authoritarian rule, has sparked ongoing debates about whether he was a visionary leader or a ruthless despot. The consequences of his ambition were profound, resulting in significant political and social upheaval. Despite these controversies, Napoleon's influence extends beyond his military and political achievements. His patronage of the arts and monumental architectural projects, such as the Arc de Triomphe and the transformation of the Louvre, left an indelible mark on French culture. His life and campaigns have inspired countless works of literature, art, and music, contributing to the cultural richness of the 19th century and beyond. Globally, Napoleon's impact was far-reaching. The weakening of Spain and Portugal during the Napoleonic era facilitated independence movements in Latin America, while the sale of the Louisiana Territory to the United States significantly shaped American history. His legacy continues to be studied and debated, reflecting the complexities of his character and the far-reaching consequences of his actions. In unraveling the enigma of Napoleon Bonaparte, we are reminded of the duality of his legacy. He was both a reformer who modernized France and a conqueror whose ambition brought turmoil to Europe. His story serves as a cautionary tale of the perils of unchecked power and the fleeting nature of glory in the tumultuous world of politics and warfare. Yet, it also stands as a testament to the enduring impact of one man's vision and determination on the course of history. As we reflect on the life and legacy of Napoleon Bonaparte, we see a figure who continues to captivate and intrigue, offering valuable lessons on leadership, ambition, and the complexities of historical legacy. But wait, did you know there's a shocking secret about Napoleon that textbooks never mention? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll uncover the untold stories of his reign that will change everything you thought you knew about this iconic figure. Curious about how his strategies can be applied in today's world? Imagine harnessing Napoleon's genius for your personal success. We have an exciting series coming up that breaks down his tactics into actionable steps you can use right now. And here's something you won't believe. What if Napoleon's influence extends into modern tech innovations? Yes, you heard that right. Discover the surprising connections between Napoleon's innovations and today's cutting-edge technology in our upcoming deep dive. So, if you're as fascinated by history's greatest minds as we are, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated. Join our community of history enthusiasts and never miss out on an intriguing story that bridges the past with the present. See you in the next adventure through time.